With all of your roof objects completed, you're now ready to add the flashing to these roofs. We'll start with the flashing for the main roof. Before you begin, make sure the roof layer is your active layer and the view is set to top plan. Additionally, set the Layer Options drop-down menu in the navigation palette to Active Only. Next, with the Selection tool, select the largest roof face. Then, go to Modify, Edit Roof. In Edit mode, you should see the polygon used to define the shape of the roof. Select this polygon and go to Edit, Copy, and click Exit Roof. Now, to paste this polygon at the exact same position as the roof, go to Edit, Paste in Place. This polygon defines the path used to create the flashing cap. Next, you need to create the profile shape that will follow that path. To do this, double-click the Rectangle tool in the Basic Tool palette. In the Create Object dialog box, enter 4 inches for the width field and 12 inches in the height field. Check Position at next click, then click OK to return to the drawing. Click once anywhere in the drawing to place the rectangle. Now zoom in so that only the rectangle is visible in your drawing area. With the rectangle still highlighted, go to Modify, Decompose. This will deconstruct the rectangle into 4 lines. Notice that the Object Info palette also reflects this change. Double-tap the X key so that the lines are deselected. Then select just the bottom line and hit the Delete key. You can now combine these lines into one object again. With the Selection tool, select all 3 lines and go to Modify, Compose to create a polygon. After this, switch to the Offset tool and make sure Offset by Distance mode and Offset Original Object mode are enabled in the toolbar. Additionally, set the distance field in the toolbar to 0.5 inches. Next, to offset the object, click outside of the selected polygon twice. To add a little more detail to the profile shape, let's select the Reshape tool in the Basic Tool palette. Enable Add Vertex mode and Corner Point mode in the toolbar. In the drawing area, click once on the bottom right vertex of the polygon. This will add another vertex point to that polygon. To set the exact placement of this vertex point, press the Tab key to enter the floating data bar. After doing this, you should be able to edit the length field. If for some reason you have another field highlighted in the floating data bar, simply continue pressing the Tab key to cycle through the fields until you reach the length field. In the length field, enter a value of 0.35 inches. Press the Enter key to lock in this value. Notice the small dashed circle that appears around your current vertex point. This line indicates 0.35 inches away from that current point in any direction. Since we want this new vertex to sit at an angle, move your cursor around this dashed line until you see the cursor cue 45 degrees/length. Then click to place the new vertex. Repeat these steps to create an additional vertex point from the bottom left vertex of the polygon. The path and profile for the flashing cap is ready. Next, we'll use the Extrude Along Path command to create the flashing. Select the polygon that is on top of the main building roof. You may need to use the coincident selection point to select the right object. To do this, hold the J key and select the edge of the polygon. Then choose Polygon from the resulting dialog box. Once you've selected the larger polygon, hold the Shift key and select the smallest polygon we previously created to use as the flashing profile. Now, with both polygons selected, go to Model, Extrude Along Path. The larger polygon should already be highlighted as the path object. However, if it is not, click the previous or next button until it is highlighted. Then click OK to create the Extrude Along Path. Then double-click on the object to access the editing modes for this object. You can choose to either edit path or Profile. Choose Profile and click OK to enter the editing mode. By default, the profile for an Extrude Along Path object is set so that the center of the profile sits at 0, 0. Since the flashing cap should sit near the edge of the roof, we need to move our profile object so that it's aligned accordingly. To do this, select the polygon and snap it to this corner of the wall shown in gray. After you're done, click the Exit Profile button to return to the drawing. To view what the drawing looks like in 3D, switch to a right isometric view and render in OpenGL. You should notice the flashing cap is above the roof face object. To fix this, select Extrude Along Path and enter -18 inches in the Z field in the Object Info palette. Then press Enter to lock in the value. Consequently, the flashing should now be in the right position. Creating second floor roof flashing. We're done with main roof flashing, so let's create the flashing for the small second floor roofs. To begin, return to a top plan view. The Layer Options drop-down menu should already be set to Active Only, but if it's not, you should make this change now. Also, set Floor 2 to be the Active Design layer in the Navigation palette. Let's start with the flashing for this triangular roof first. In the Basic Tool palette, select the Polygon tool. Also, choose Inner Boundary Mode, and click on the space inside of the triangular roof. As soon as you click in this area, a polygon should be created that fills the area. This will be the path for this particular roof's flashing. Before we create an Extrude Along Path of this object, we need to retrieve the profile from the previous Extrude Along Path that we've made. For the moment, set the Roof Design layer as the active layer from the view bar. Next, double-click the Extrude Along Path and choose to edit the profile. With the polygon selected, go to Edit, Copy, then click Exit Profile. Switch the active layer back to Floor 2, then go to Edit, Paste. With the pasted object still selected, hold the Shift key and select the polygon we just created inside these walls. Again, go to Model, Extrude Along Path, and click OK once the larger polygon is highlighted as the path object. As we did last time, you also need to edit this Extrude Along Path. So double-click the Extrude Along Path, choose to edit the profile, and click OK. Select the polygon again, and in the Object Info palette, set the top left point in the box control matrix. Additionally, set the X field to -1.25 inches and the Y field to 0.5 inches. Once complete, click Exit Profile to return to the drawing. Now, with the newly created Extrude Along Path still selected, set the Z field to -1 foot in the Object Info palette and press Enter to lock in that value. Lastly, choose Roof from the Layer drop-down menu to move this Extrude Along Path to the roof layer with the other roof objects and the roof flashing. You can verify this by making Roof layer the active design layer, then rendering in OpenGL and using the flyover tool to see what you have so far. The last roof flashing you need to create is for the curved porch roofs that cover the walls on the first floor, so let's get to it. Switch back to a top plan view. Choose Floor 2 from the Active Layer drop-down menu in the view bar. Also, set the Layer Options drop-down menu in the Navigation palette to Gray Snap Others, and make sure only Floor 1 and Floor 2 are set to visible. Once the layers are set up properly, zoom to the area with the round walls and select the Arc tool from the Basic Tool palette. Click on the outer face of the round wall, where the wall intersects with the grayed vertical wall. After that, click anywhere along the outer face of the round wall. To finish the arc, click at this point where the walls intersect again. This arc will be the path for this last flashing cap. To create the flashing cap, you're going to repeat the steps you used to create the triangular walls flashing cap. For the moment, set the roof design layer as the active layer from the view bar. Next, switch to the selection tool. Double-click the Extrude Along Path and choose to edit the profile. With the polygon selected, go to Edit, Copy, then click Exit Profile. Switch Floor 2 back to the active layer and go to Edit, Paste. With the pasted object still selected, hold the Shift key and select the arc we just created inside these walls. Again, go to Model, Extrude Along Path, and click OK once the arc is highlighted as the path object. After the Extrude Along Path is created, go to the Object Info palette and set the Layer drop-down menu to Roof. Set the Roof layer to Visible in the Navigation palette and make it the active layer. When you switch to a right isometric view, you can see the flashing cap sits high above the actual roof faces. To lower the Extrude Along Path, go to the Object Info palette and enter -12 feet for the Z value, then press Enter. There, the flashing cap should be at an appropriate height now. Next, tap the X key twice. Click the Fit to Objects button in the view bar to set a zoom factor that shows the entire model. Last, let's set the layer options to Show Snap Others and render in OpenGL. As always, you can use the flyover tool to see the progress you've made. Return to a top plan view before you move forward.